got an episode of The Unknown Pro for you today. I'm your host, Sam Fisher, and today I've got with me the Carda. What's up, Allie?
What's up? How are you, Sam?
You know what? I'm doing good. I'm glad that I get to have a jacket on right now because I kind of miss the comfy feeling when it starts to get hot. You know what I mean?
It looks beautiful where you're at.
It is gorgeous, but there's a nice breeze, a cool breeze, and it's perfect light jacket weather right now.
Solid for you, right?
That's why they pay the big bucks to live here.
Exactly.
Oh man, well, I am so excited to talk to you. I have some just questions, and I'm just so excited to dive into your journey and to see how you have gotten to this point. But first, I have to tell people the list of accomplishments and just what you've done with the sport. So if you don't mind, I'm going to take the floor, the Allie Carda bio. Okay. So 2015, you graduated from UCLA. You were back-to-back Pac-12 Player of the Year in 14 and 15, two-time All-American. You were top 3 finalist for Collegiate Player of the Year in 2014, so as a junior. You've been with Team USA since 2015, which is where we got to meet. In 2015, you were the Japan Cup MVP, which it was a glorious thing to watch. I'll never forget it, honest to God. And that's already 5 years ago. Anyway, I'm focused. Here we go. In 2016, you won a gold medal at World Championships. You're a current member of the Olympic team. You are starting your second season with Team Honda in the Japanese Pro League, and you were a pitching coach at Cal State. Is it Cal State SLO? How do you Cal Poly. I know it. It's a big Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. There we go. And you were a pitching coach there for 2015 and 2016. So just a diverse experience with the sport. You've done so many different cool things. And yeah, I mean, first and foremost, what do you think when you sit and you listen to kind of everything on paper about what you've done with a softball?
It's crazy because we were just talking how terrible my memory is. So just to kind of relive some things is fun. And then just knowing that there's so much more to come is kind of cool. I didn't even think really post-college that I was going to be playing for the next 5 years. I mean, I was like, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I'll just go to the real world. So for me now to kind of look back and see all those accomplishments that are post-college is pretty cool for me. Just because I didn't think I'd be where I'm at right now. So it's fun to hear all of it, but just exciting to know that there's so much more to come too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so cool. So you didn't think that this could happen? Did you ever dream that this could happen?
Not really. So I'm going to tell a story on me being, I don't know. I guess when I was younger, I loved the game. I loved to play. I loved just being around my teammates. I loved to work hard. Me and my dad kind of grew up learning the sport together. So that was kind of fun, but it was never about playing to get the scholarship or playing to be on Team USA. And although I knew those things were kind of there, I didn't really know too much about it. So again, I love to play the game, and I did it. And my dad was always so focused on the process, and we're going to just work hard and do what we do today, and then we'll get better tomorrow, and just kind of keep doing that. So I never really had this dream of becoming an Olympic softball player, or really a dream of going to UCLA. It wasn't my dream school, any of that. It just kind of fell into place because we did what we were supposed to do and kind of did everything the right way and worked hard, and it definitely fell into place. But I was never this big dreamer. So it feels weird for me sometimes to say that, because all these other people have these stories, and they're so cool to me because they're when I was 5, I remember watching, this game on this day and with these people, and I wanted to be that. And I was I don't have that, which is weird for me and got sad for me to say sometimes. But again, I mean, that's my journey. And so I've embraced that, and it's brought me to where I'm at, and I'm very grateful for that. But it was never this big dream that I've had.
That is so cool, because basically the way that you put it, like you said, you just did what you needed to do to get better, and then opportunities just kind of showed themselves to you. Whereas I don't think it's sad at all. I think, because you're a little kid, you dream, the Olympics, whatever. That's some people's story, but for you, it was more. People talk all the time about the process, enjoying the process, work on the process. And that you lived that. You were, I'm just going to try to get better today. And then tomorrow I'm going to try to get a little more better.
Exactly.
and go from there. But you look back over time and you think, wow, I improved so much. I got so much. Look at me now compared to look at me then, versus, being in that moment of just a little bit, 1% every day, like they
Yeah.
say,
No, for
so.
sure. Yeah, 1% better. And it was, I mean, that's an attest to my family because they grew me up that way. So it's been cool. And then when I got to college, same thing. I mean, that's the whole, getting 1% better every day was like our motto. So being around all those people was kind of what it was all about. But
That
yeah.
is so cool. And you started loving the game when when you were playing it when you were young. Did getting better, and did, those accomplishments when they started coming in, did that grow your love, or did that fuel your work ethic? How did that all kind of work together?
I think so. I'll start before I went to college. I didn't play other sports. I played softball, which I would recommend other people playing other sports. But I did do a lot of like cross training. So I worked out with like football players and basketball players and soccer players, and did all these workouts. And so that was kind of my way of like getting my athleticism. So growing up, I just like loved to do that. I like got to work out with so many different people, which made me an athlete, not just a softball player or just a pitcher.
Yeah.
Um, then when I got to UCLA, it was kind of the same thing. I mean, I'm around Lisa Fernandez, who is like the workhorse, right? The ultimate workhorse. So it's like when I'm around her and all these other people every day, it just like, you can't not work hard. So it was just kind of already in me, but then that brought it out of me a little bit more. But then, like I said, after my senior year, and I was like, I don't know what I really want to do. I don't know if I want to keep playing. I wasn't really sure. I was in this like weird place, pretty kind of burnt out. I was mentally exhausted. So I wasn't really sure. And then, but I got the opportunity. I was on the USA team, and it was awesome, and I loved it. But I went through this like weird point where I just kind of felt like I was playing, like I was getting better, but I still wasn't. I don't know. I wasn't. I'm I'm passionate when I play and stuff, but I wasn't like softball then was my passion. And so it was like this, it felt like a weird thing was missing for me. But I kind of kept grinding. I mean, that's what I do. I'm going to keep grinding and figure it out and work hard and figure out a way to, make everything better. And so I kept doing that. I kept grinding. And then actually in 2018, I didn't make that A team for the USA. They went on to qualify at World Championships for the Olympics, and I was not a part of that team. And so that was finally like, get your freaking crap together, Allie. It was like honestly, my life was just a mess. It felt like I feel like I wasn't hanging out with the people I needed to hang out with to support kind of where I wanted to go. My lifestyle wasn't my usual, like, have good habits and work hard every day and put in the work you need to put in. I wasn't doing that. I didn't do what I needed to do to be on that team. So I didn't make it. And well, I mean, it was sucked, but it probably was the best thing that could have happened to me because I then played with Chicago Bandits and was a part of a whole new group of people who pushed me to be better. I kind of changed what I needed to with my life and my eating and my workouts and the people I'm surrounding myself with, and just kind of like shifted my entire life and my entire focus. Wow. And so then going into 2019 and that tryout, I'm in the best possible position to make that team. And even especially for the 2020 Olympic team, I was like, I'm going to be the best I've been yet, and I went over and played in Japan and had a whole new experience there that just kind of wrapped it all in for me, and just it truly brought out, not that I loved the game of softball, but I wasn't like in love with it during those few years. And just recently I just like found this whole new love for the game, which has been awesome, because it's hard sometimes. I mean, you've probably gone through it, people have gone through it who are just like, I don't know what to do right now. It's not feeling right. I'm not where I'm at softball wise. You're not performing. And then it just takes a toll on you, So, so I'm fortunate that I did that for myself. And then I got people who like helped me do that. But I had to kind of shift my whole life and just kind of redefine who I was and who I was as a softball player and find that love again. And I did. So I'm super happy for that. And I'm in a point right now where I just enjoy to play. So I think that's super fun for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think in those years where you said you were kind of maybe unsure and not in love and all those things that you just said, do you think that during that time there was ever a thought of, I'm gonna play until I'm in love with it again, or this is gonna be it? Like, was there ever any time where you were thinking of walking away from the sport because of how you felt?
I did. I mean, I think I've had those thoughts. I don't know that I ever had the thought of like, okay, I'm completely done. Maybe my year right after college was probably the closest I was to that.
Yeah.
But I think I kept seeing. I mean, a very positive person, so I kept
Yeah.
seeing little glimpses of like, okay, I could get there, or this team was really fun, or this practice was, I almost felt what I needed to feel. Just those little moments, I think, like kind of kept me going. So I don't know that there was like a one time where I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. But I definitely had those like moments in my head of like, God, this sucks, or I just can't figure it out, or all those
Yeah.
little things that kind of keep eating at you. But again, I kept seeing those little glimpses of positive things, and I'm like, okay, I can just keep doing it, keep doing it. It's gonna come. It's about that process we talked about. It's gonna happen eventually.
Oh, that's so great, because like you're seeing, you're basically, those little glimpses could potentially, you could say it's like a light at the end of the tunnel, like it's there, it's waiting for me. But what was waiting for you, what could be looked at as something that negatively happened by not making the team in 2018. So that light, people say light at the end of the tunnel and they think, okay, this is good, this is good, this is good. But you took something that was a negative, was you didn't make the A team, you're on the B team for this summer, and you turned it into probably one of the most positive experiences that you may have had with the sport.
For sure.
That, I mean, I remember when the team came out and I thought, oh boy, and just thinking about watching what you did and what you went through. And I mean, even though we only see each other every once in a while, you're someone who, like, when you tweet or when you post, like, I can feel what you're putting out, like, I don't know. I just feel like I was right next to your fire, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that is so cool, because when I think of Ali Carda, I think of peace.
I
I'm
love
sure
that.
that a lot of
Thank you.
I'm sure, I'm sure that a lot of people can probably say, I think of that too when I think of Ali Carda, because you're very like zen. You're very just positive and peaceful, and that fire that you have within you that might only spark up when it needs to, or whatever, it's just kind of like there. And I just think it's so cool. And I remember you and we were in Japan. It was 2015, after you had just wiped the floor with every team did you like my pitch?
Yeah.
just absolutely went out there. After your senior, you went out and you freaking dominated in the Japan Cup and held Japan to 0 runs, which is a feat in itself. But you and we were in my hotel room. Chitty was there, obviously. And we were just talking, because that year I was an alternate, and it was no secret that I was devastated. I wanted to be on the, fully on the team. Right. And you were telling me about how you kind of felt bad because I was so just like consumed in a sense, where, why didn't you get this position and I did? And I feel bad because it's not something, like we talked earlier, it's not something I was like dreaming of or dying to do or whatever it is, not in a negative way, but just in a way of like what you're talking about now. So how do you feel looking back over the last 5 years, looking back to that conversation in 2015 to now? Do you feel like your fire has grown? Do you feel like when you had that moment in 2018, it was like, yes, this is the Ali that's going to be a freaking Olympian?
Yeah, I think so. And I think, I mean, with that story, it's funny because I hadn't really thought about it, but looking back now, I mean, I can remember probably a few conversations that me and Chitty have had, that we've gone these deep routes on all these kind of things. But I think too, I want to point out that like having people like you and Chitty and these positive people to be around and let that out and talk about it is so important and so healthy, because I couldn't imagine going through some of the things I've been through with these teams and with Team USA. and not having someone like you or Chitty or
Aw.
just someone positive to sit there and listen to all of it.
Yeah.
So thank you for that too. I think it's so cool to like have people like you, just to be able to kind of to talk about it. But even now, I mean, I definitely think the 2018 year was a defining point in my career and in my life, really.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely lit a fire. I don't think I mean, I've told you I work out, I love to train, all that stuff, but I don't think I've ever just every day had that freaking fire and just pissed off and almost
Yeah.
like, I mean, I don't really get fired up on like the prove people wrong thing, but just that kind of was there too on
Yeah.
I don't really care about what anyone else is doing right now. I'm just gonna freaking get better and make that team, whatever that means, however that takes. I don't care. I'm gonna just freaking get it done. No excuses. No, on the days
Yeah.
you're tired or you don't really want to do things. It's like,
Right.
no, you felt like crap when you got that email and you didn't make the freaking team and you didn't qualify on that team for the Olympics. So get your ass up and go
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely was a huge defining moment for me, and just being able to flip all of it and just be like, this is your moment. You had during that talk we had in Japan with Yumi and Chitty, it was like that was one moment, and then you have another moment that's just a part of it. It's just like we're on this road and it's just kind of a little bump, and I talked to Sue Inquist, obviously she's a huge mentor of mine, and she always reminds me that it's just like just a little rocky hit in the road,
Yeah.
keep moving, just little rock. So just not thinking of things being so big that you have to kind of overcome, and that it's a part of the journey. So now I've looked at it more and just embraced all of that and been like, no, this is my story, this is my journey, it doesn't need to be like anyone else's, and I don't need to feel bad about that anymore, so I think all of that has definitely in 2018 kind of shifted for me, but just as you keep playing and growing up and learning, it just kind of it all comes full circle and makes more sense.
Yeah, and I love the bumps in the road, because had you not had that moment in 2018, who's to say you'd be where you are right now? That
Right, exactly.
I think obviously in the moment it's the worst. It's just the worst. You
Yeah.
have a knife and you twist it and you
Yep.
just have the ice cream. Like it's terrible, but you can obviously I'm obviously going to reference Harry Potter right now with the Phoenix and the ashes kind of stuff, because the Phoenix does rise from the ashes. Like 2018, what a transformation, and what a perfect example of rising from the ashes, because had you not hit that bump in the road, who's to say you're in the shape you're in right now? You're on the team you're on right now,
Right.
obviously we'd love to never feel any pain and never, I know that my parents are like, I don't want you to ever be hurt, but if it happens, I'm here.
Yes.
You know what I mean? But without those things, what are we really at this point?
Exactly. And it's just made everything else so much sweeter and better too. I mean, those hard moments just make it all so worth it, and just make you better. I mean, the whole idea around our sport is failure. So just, I mean, in life too, it's like, sometimes it's like crazy. So we deal with all these failures that are within the game, but then, failures that are happening with life, it's all, softball is just helping us so much with all of that, and being able to deal with all of it. So I'm very thankful for all of it. So.
That's so, I just, that's my favorite thing to hear is I wouldn't change it. I love that. And that's just such a form of being content, like every hardship that you've been through, you've gotten through,
Right.
Nothing has been the end of the world. Everything you've gotten through, and everything has kind of found its place, like you said before. So yeah, everything hard that you've gone through, you've gotten through. But
Exactly.
how did you feel when you found out you made the Olympic team?
I have never, and this is probably part of the reason why in that 2018 I didn't make the team, because you get a little comfortable, but I have never, ever been like that nervous or my heart racing so fast to open an email. I was like,
Yeah, right?
oh, I had to go drive. So we're in Oklahoma City, obviously for the tryout, and I went and drove the car to a random parking lot because I didn't want to be at the hotel where everyone
Yeah,
else was.
smart.
I wanted some space. But I opened the email and um, I I actually, I've never done this either, screamed out loud just
Oh
from
my God.
pure like, ah, it's over, I'm done, I did it, we're here. So it was obviously such a great feeling. But yeah, it was just more fun. Like it all is so worth it. It's over with for right now, and over with in a good way. You know, I
Of
mean, not
course.
over like we're done. You know, but
Right.
over with on just the relief of all the freaking hard work and all those things we had to overcome and just all the tryouts and all of it is
Yeah.
finally um, we made it here for all of it. So it
Yeah.
was a great for
Now
sure.
now you just get to play the game instead of worrying about, am I going to make it or not? I can't, that's so cool that you went and were by yourself and was like, ah,
Yeah. Had the moment to myself in the car.
I love it. I love it. Cause yeah, whichever way it goes, being alone for that was probably the best
Right.
option, you
Yeah.
know? Oh
And
man.
I'm more of an introverted person, so I was like, I need my space from everyone else around me.
Right. Yeah. Oh my God.
It's awesome.
I feel like just even hearing you talk about it, you can almost feel like the weight off your chest, the big breath you might have been holding, just, oh my, okay, let's do it.
Yeah. No,
Olympic
for
team.
sure. That's exactly how it was.
Oh God, that's so cool. And I want to talk about your work ethic because that has obviously come up a lot in just, however long we've been talking right now, but you're someone who it makes me want to work harder. I just told somebody the other day that I want to find a new way to sweat because that's what Carda likes to do. I swear to God, I'm like, I got to find a new way. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to do
That's
it.
awesome. I love it.
And it was doing dishes. That was the thing that
There you go. That'll do it. The heat when you pull out to open and put the dishes away, freaking
yes.
heat fan makes the sweat real quick.
Yeah. I'm like, does this count? This counts, right? Because I am sweating. But you touched on when you were younger and with your dad and the different kind of workouts that you did, but you work so hard. Has that ever crossed your mind that you're a really hard worker, or is this is what I do?
Um, I think as I've gotten older, I think I realize that I am a hard worker just because I've been asked the question about it. But when I was younger, it was just that's what I did. And I think,
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit probably on genetics. I don't think everyone, when you're younger, you just can be put through workouts and love it.
Right.
But for some reason, I did. So I'm grateful for that. I never was like a struggle or I hated to go work out or anything like that. So it was always just kind of a fun thing for me. But I think now that I'm older and looking back on all of it, I mean, and I get asked you get asked the question on like kind of what you want to be remembered for or what do you want your legacy to be. And that's something I think that I just take pride in that, on being a hard worker and just wanting other people around me to join me in that, and whatever it looks like, it looks different for everyone. I'm not saying that you need to work as hard or maybe not as hard, but in the same way as me, but whatever that means for you on hardworking talent for whatever it is, softball, life, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think I've just taken pride in that now. It's like I want to be remembered for not only just being a good teammate and my softball career, but I want to be known for working hard in everything I do. And if you're around me and we're working, we're going to get better together, So I've just kind of taken that with me now and take pride in that. And yeah, from when I was growing up, that's what I did. So it's just kind of instilled in me now, and it's just a habit, I guess.
What a habit to have,
And someday I will say this too. Some days you don't want to do things and you have to be kind with yourself, and it's okay, and I'm still learning that too I deal with a little bit of anxiety in those sense. I'm like, I feel like I need to be doing something all the time with that aspect and getting myself better and working out or softball or whatever it is. So I'm learning too to just be like, have compassion with yourself, and some days it's hard and you're not feeling it and you don't want to go do things, and that's okay for that day, so just having that too, and then finding a good balance with it, because you obviously can't be a madman and go crazy and work hard 24/7. So
right. That's actually, I was going to ask, that is something that for me, I struggle with, is if I feel like I need to take a rest, or if I feel like I don't want to maybe work out today, I feel guilty. Like,
Right.
okay, I'm going to get worse, or, where it's almost like, I think your body kind of needs to rest in order to perform better.
Right, exactly. And just finding like other ways too. I mean, I've learned, especially like during the whole quarantine and everything, is like, if you're not going to maybe get better at your softball or working out today, well, okay, let me just take a second and, find something that you enjoy and love to do, because that's going to get you a better person and just a happier and more at peace person. So if I'm not doing any of that, but I'm going to make like a really good dinner tonight and make my room look really nice and clean, and just kind of like maybe declutter that way. So just, I mean, some days you need to don't do anything, and that's fine. But, on those days where you do feel guilty, maybe just like putting something else in play, getting better in a complete different way from working out or whatever it is, so that you're getting better in some other aspect of life.
I mean, talk about being well-rounded,
Right.
not only am I working out that day, but my room is also clean,
Right.
we're like, wow. But I think that that's great. And I think that you put it out there in a way of enjoyment. And oh my God, I remember my mom got a personal trainer a few years ago,
Awesome.
and she was working out with him for like 6 months. And so around 4 months, I said, oh my God, do you get it now? Like, do you love the gym? Because I know it's hard, but do you love it? And she's like, I hate this place. It's like, what? She's like, I don't understand you. I don't understand how you can like doing this and go there and do what you're doing. And so I was like, okay, well, maybe, like you said, maybe it is kind of, you're born with it if you like it or not. Because I thought she developed the love for it after working out for so long. But no, she hates the gym. But you put it in a way of, it's hard work, but it's easy to do because you're enjoying what you're doing, and especially seeing what your body can do. I mean, I'm sure whenever you pop in a pitch or hit a home run really far, you're like, okay, my body just did that,
Yeah.
So
and for me too, it's like a feeling too, like when I just put myself in the best position and best shape I can, not only to like perform, but it makes me just feel good. I mean, when I'm on the field and I'm at that point with where I'm at with how good of shape I am, that it just makes me enjoy the game more. So that's just me and how I feel. And I've been at the other end where before, when I didn't make that team in 2018, where I didn't feel good. I mean, I was like not in the shape I'm in. So playing was even more of a struggle because I wasn't comfortable in my body and I didn't feel great. So I just think too, I just feel better and happier and healthier, which relates to my softball game and just how I live. So I think that's a huge part of it too.
I think that's in general just a good message, because whatever shape you were in that you weren't happy with, it wasn't ever about, losing weight or having a beach body or anything like that. It was, how can I get my body to perform at its peak?
Right.
And exactly. I think that that's so important in female sports, especially because on top of trying to perform, there's also, people care about how you look.
Yeah.
It is what it is. I remember when I was younger and I started to grow and I was taller than all the boys and my feet were canoes. And I remember initially feeling like, this sucks. But then I got to the field and I could hit the ball farther, and I was like, this rocks.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that that's amazing what you're talking about how it's just your whole life, your body is performing the way that you want it to perform. You're putting yourself in a position to perform. Mm-hmm. And so everything is just kind of like that. Cool. Everything else just adds up to the equation.
Yeah, no, definitely.
I think that's so awesome. And you're someone who, when I think about working out, you and Sammy Fagan, you're my two people that I think about when she's training for a marathon. She's out of her freaking mind.
That's awesome.
But just seeing how hard you work and knowing how much enjoyment you get out of it, and the fact that you can do it in so many different ways is very inspiring, because sometimes it's like, all right, I'm going to go do the same set and I'm going to go do the same workout, and it can get dull.
Yeah.
But you're if ever I think of you, I picture you with a smile on your face.
Well, thank you. It's not always the case.
But for the most part, it's just you just really enjoy what you're doing.
I try. I mean, I feel like that's a huge part of life. If you're not, you're not going to enjoy it and you're just going to halfway do things, then doesn't make anything else more enjoyable. So,
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of the times too, with all the workouts and even practices and whatever, I mean, we have to be there anyway. So find a way to enjoy it, find a way to get better, enjoy it. And if you can't enjoy it that day, then look to someone else and try and bring it all in together. I mean, I just try and live that way. Because if we're just going through the motions and going because we have to do things, then nothing's going to be enjoyable, and that just sucks.
Yeah. Oh my God. Especially thinking about being in Japan and being at the field for 8 hours a day. Like you said, you're going to be there anyway, so might as well have a good time. But has there ever been a time that you felt bad because, so doing what you want to do comes with saying no to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody wants to go do this, but it doesn't really line up with the things that you kind of want to do or feel good about.
Yeah.
You say no. So has there ever been a time where you've been kind of unsure in that sense, or have you always just been, this is what I enjoy and I'm surrounding myself with it?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think there's probably been definitely moments of doing things that and it might be more with just, engagements on kind of things, or if I already have A, B, and C to do, and I haven't done them yet, but someone asks me to kind of do something else for them. I'm terrible I'm getting better, but at saying no. So I think more on me, I'm putting too many things on my plate and then not fully doing all of them. So I think that brings me stress when I do that. So I'm definitely getting better at okay, if this is, this opportunity sounds really great, but right now I can't do it for myself. I won't be happy and healthy if I'm trying to do that because I have so many other things, then say no. And that's okay, because if I say yes and I'm thinking I'm helping, I'm really hurting myself. So I try and keep that in my head. I know some things you have to get done, and that's just the way it is. But I'm definitely getting better at saying no to certain things that maybe just for a life wellness for my own sake on saying no, for sure.
Right, because then you could look at yourself like, wait, I think I did this to myself.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, been there plenty of times.
Right, and it's just, spreading yourself too thin. That's pretty much, I could do this, that, the other, and those three things too. But then you think, well, why I didn't put the most into what was most important today. So I think that comes with age too. I remember I had a harder time saying no when I was younger than saying no at almost 30 is very easy.
Right. Yes.
Nope, I don't want to do that.
I'm good.
I'm gonna go watch Jeopardy. See you guys later.
Yeah. My couch and my tea here, so I can't do that.
Oh my God, I freaking love it. Well, I think that this was such a cool conversation, mostly because we talked about obviously things that are hard, but how the phoenix rose from the ashes, you don't see that a lot. That's why they're very rare birds. Okay. I'm just kidding. But
you are so funny. I love it. But I appreciate you. I don't think I've, to my close friends and here and there having conversations with people when they ask, but other than that, I haven't fully shared, these moments. So I think it's important and for people to know too, that everyone's story is so different, and you are going to go through some ups and downs with life and softball in those ways that we talked about. And that's okay. It's not always, you don't always have to have the perfect dream and then the perfect way to get there. And this is how they did it, so I need to do it. There's so many ways, and life is crazy. So it's
right
that way, and it's all going to work out how it's supposed to. So I think it was that we were able to talk about that for sure.
Yeah, me too. Especially because honest to God, that's the whole point behind why I really wanted to start this podcast, is because of all the unknown parts. You looking at you on paper, you went to UCLA, you made Team USA, you're going to be an Olympian. That looks very shiny.
Right.
That looks just polished and okay, bam, bam, bam. But the parts that got you to all those parts are not so shiny, So
sure. That's so true.
It's just kind of a full circle thing where you can't truly have the good without the bad. And you're such a great example of turning something that could be and might be devastating, but that could last and be devastating for a long time. You're the perfect example of, all right, you know what? Like I had my moment where I was real upset and, had my pint of ice cream and here we go. Let's game freaking on. And, when you flip that switch, I mean, I've seen it. I've been watching you for 5 years and it's amazing what you've accomplished. And I'm so glad that people, whoever listens and whoever, knows you and has seen it appreciates it in that way, for the way that it should be appreciated, because you could have been someone who said, all right, cool. That was a good run.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely could have, but not today.
No, not yet. That's for sure.
Good. Well, I can't wait to, watch you compete for the gold medal next year, but still it's going to happen. And yeah, thanks for hanging out. And
thank you. I appreciate you so much.
Well, I hope we can see each other in person.
This is so fun.
I hope we can see each other soon. This has been a great episode of The Unknown Pro with Ali Carda, and I'm your host, Samu. So we'll catch you on the flip side, my friends.